and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me at 339-1670, or you can call 238-6716. Those of you that have properties to sell or looking for property to buy, you can also contact me. I have some nice beachfront properties, you know. So those of you who love beachfront properties, you can also contact me. I have the half acre of land by the airport. You can also contact me. Now, viewers, I want to say a special good night to those on our page, the Real Talk with Saieed Ali page. Like and share the page. Now, I am encouraging you to do that. The reason why I am encouraging you to do that is to keep you up to date with current situation that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, being the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago, with you, the viewers' support, I advise you to tell your friends and tell your family about the page. Like and share. So you would also be up to date with the current affairs issue that is facing us in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for those of you who lend your friend and your family's money, or somebody outsmart you your money, you know, they con you your money, and at a time like this, there's a lot of con man and con woman outside there extracting money from individuals under false address, false ID card, false driver's permit, false passport. Feel free to contact me, 339-1670 or 238-6716. Real Talk Debt Collection would love to help you out, especially going after fraudsters. A good night to you, viewers of Trinidad, Tobago, around the world. Our call-in program is from Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. on Synergy TV. So it doesn't matter what providers you have. Tune in to Synergy TV from 7 to 8 p.m. where you can see the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad. Real Talk Studios is on Caroni Savannah Road, number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. It's about 2 minutes away from the police station, if so much. So feel free to call in our show, 238-6716. It's a live call-in program. Let me hear what you have to say concerning the councillors, the ministers, the drainage, the roads, the issues in your area, the drug man, whatever it is, the police. Feel free to call in. Let your voice be heard, because this is the only platform that will give you your voice to be heard. So as we start off tonight, an investigation into allegations regarding numerous criminal bank transactions made to a Miami-based bank has been closed. The investigation has been closed. This was after no evidence of the transaction was found. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith made a statement at a media briefing earlier today. Griffith said the matter was investigated by both the Finance Intelligence Unit, that is the FIU, and the U.S. Finance Intelligence Unit, and no identified transactions were found. Griffith said on Tuesday, October 9th, 2018, a member of parliament made allegations against an individual. The MP stated that the said individual was involved in a criminal bank transaction involving large sums of money into a foreign account in Miami, in Florida. So they did the investigation, the FIU and the FIU in US, and they found no such transaction. So the allegations were fake. Acting Superintendent of the Financial Investigation Branch, Wendell Lucas, said the following inquiries about the following inquiries. There was no evidence of the transaction which were allegedly made.
There were no identifiable transactions directed to the account of Subject 1 from the accounts of Subject 2 for the period examined. And the period that they examined was June 2017 to October 2018 when the allegations were made.
Now viewers, listen to this. Griffith added that the decision made by the TTPS were not influenced by any external parties. Listen to this, it's getting interesting. In October 2018, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley refuted claims made by opposition MP Dr. Rudal Munilal, who claimed during a parliament session that a check was paid to the wife of a high-ranking government official. Rowley slammed the allegations as blunt falsehood and has since launched legal action against Dr. Munilal. Now listen to this. A&V Drilling, which is owned by Hanif Baksh, was brought into the spotlight in September of 2017 when the opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisasa cited an internal audit of Petrotrin, which revealed that the state-owned company had paid $100 million to a company, A&V Oil and Gas, also owned by Mr. Baksh, for which oil was not supplied. This is where the $100 million fake oil scandal arise. Now listen. Meanwhile, an investigation into a Cambridge Analytica report was also closed after police were unable to get sufficient evidence to support the claim.
In the main, the team, which is the investigative team, had no responses from these persons and organizations that we had reached out to. In light of that, we can say we are stumped. And as such, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is closing this investigation pending the emergence of evidence to support the investigation.
So viewers, the report has stated that a firm was allegedly hired by former minister to harvest the data of TNT's population. The Cambridge Analytica website cited that United National Congress Do So campaign as one of its case studies, saying the company method resulted in a People's Partnership elections victory. The report also noted that the firm allegedly did political work in 2013 at a cost of $200,000 US. So now viewers, all these high-ranking cases of alleged fraud, it is closed. Closed, closed, closed. So there is nothing to talk about these cases anymore. Cambridge Analytica, A&V Drilling, foreign bank accounts, it is all closed with no source to back it up. Now, millions of dollars, I am very, very sure that millions of dollars have been spent on these inquiries, on these investigations. And what do we have? Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I have 3 fast points. First point, the police and MSK, when the case closed,
Audio.
because note was deposited in Dan Bank for that particular time. They're not saying it, there are no checks. Second, the second one, we don't have no refinery, nothing. We were short of US dollars just the other day.
Yes.
We buy gas for domestic use. How come we have money to buy gas to sell over? Third,
Good question.
the third point, I essential worker, I work in Port of Spain, and about 75% of the people who are moving through the streets at that time don't wear any mask. So I don't know when they open back these borders, the danger that poses. Thank you, good night.
Thank you, my friend. Now, TNTech has opened some of their payment centers in Shogunas. I saw people line up in TNTech this morning to pay their bills. WASA, they say that they are going to open payment centers, some places throughout the country. The Barbados terminals are open in Barbados. In Trinidad, you can buy a ticket to go Barbados. But the thing is, how many people are leaving to go because the borders are closed? Nobody is not going anywhere because they are afraid to travel. We borders closed. So how would we go Barbados? Because if you go Barbados and come back, you're going in 14 days quarantine, you know. 14 days quarantine, you know. Caller, good night.
Hi, Said, good night. First
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Yeah, man. First, let me commend you for doing a fantastic job in highlighting situations in the population. On the issue of this COVID-19, this Cambridge Analytica and the issue of the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police talked about today. For me, I think this is a smokescreen. What I really want to find out about Said is this boat that came here and bought gas that's supposed to be going to Aruba and end up in Venezuela, and this Venezuelan vice president coming to this country. Right now, the other media houses, in particular, I don't know, they're not asking irrelevant questions, and maybe you could keep this on the burner because we want to know the truth. Because right now, this thing looking like Said, if America really press on us, our country could face some sanctions, and for China to face some sanctions right now would be a nice situation. Thank you, Said.
Thank you, my friend. I will get some info concerning the boat, where it came from, how. Now, listen to this, eh? Listen to this. The boat was monitored. The little intel that I have on it, that my organization compiled, is that that boat was being monitored by the US ships that were on the outskirts of Trinidad and Tobago. That's just something I've given you to hold on to. Now, keep in mind our borders are closed. And what cargo was coming in that boat? What cargo was coming in that boat? So this is what we need to find out from the Minister of Finance, who's supposed to keep a briefing, media briefing, concerning that boat. Because our Coast Guard had no idea of that. They had no idea of that boat. Now, because of proper intel gathering that they received from outside, they did a thorough search. They did a destructive search to find that $160 or $65 million worth of cocaine. A destructive search they did. with intel coming from outside. So this is something I've given you to hold on to. My organization, Real Talk Intelligence Unit, we are sourcing more information concerning that because there's a lot of things behind that. I'm going to share with you from time to time. So I understand what you're saying. So as we move on tonight, domestic violence. One independent senator believes that the nation deserves an apology. Senator Varma Diyal Singh made this call during debate on the Administration of Justice Electronic Monitoring Bill 2020 in the Senate yesterday. His views: the delay in the proclamation of this bill as an injustice to women.
This bill actually, it was actually there waiting to be proclaimed. And I looked at that delay as somehow a misjustice to the women and who actually succumbed in this time. So it's about 8 years. And I think the nation needs an apology in the sense that we had this legislation in place, but people were still allowed to be maimed, killed, die. And you see, it's not just the women and their relatives, Madam President, but it's the entire country.
Senator Diyal Singh told the House that since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been an increase in the number of domestic violence cases.
And again, we know during COVID and the lockdown, we have noticed that the rise in the domestic violence, as you had mentioned, and those are facts, we know that.
As a result, he believes that the COVID-19 has forced the legislation to be brought to the parliament.
We are forced to do this also because of the prison situation. We cannot afford for one prisoner in the prison situation to get this and a whole set of prisoners to come. So again, we are being forced into this position, but thankfully it's something that I'm thinking for the benefit and the health of the prisoners and the rest of us and the health of the economy. This is a good move.
In response, the Attorney General Farid Al-Rawi said, the issue of domestic violence have been a focus for some time now. He said the amendments to the Domestic Violence Act are also being made.
Tomorrow I intend to tidy up the remaining aspects of that bill to move to Parliament to amend the domestic violence laws for the first time in a significant way, and certainly by this government only attending to it since its passage many, many years ago in 1999.
Just last month, the Police Commissioner Gary Gifford spoke about an increase in domestic violence cases. He warned perpetrators that they would feel the full brunt of the law and urged victims to report any such cases to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Now, viewers, this is something that we have been pushing, the domestic violence, the gun laws, the drug laws, the anti-gang legislations, the Firearm Act, Child Sex Offender Registry. We have been pushing these things. Now, being home in a time like this, with no work, no income, abusive husband and wife, not on one side, on both sides, tend to have arguments. When the child crying for food and for milk and you have no money and you can't go to work. Now on both sides, there are nagging husband and nagging wife. Sometimes the husband will say something that tripped the wife, and the wife would say something that tripped the husband, and two of them start to fight and hard talk and cuss out one another, and next thing you know, slap and cuff and kick passing. Man fighting woman, woman fighting man. And it goes on like that. So I want to thank the Commissioner for raising the topic, and I want to thank the Attorney General for fast forwarding things like this. One thing I could tell you, if you hear I raise my voice home, and you hear my wife raise she voice, I just had to step down, I just had to step back. I just said, girl, use the boss, you do what you want. I'm telling you, I just have to step back. Because she's the boss in the house. I just always tell her that. She's the boss in the house. Now, something that Real Talk push for. No bail for rape accused. I've been pushing for that. I've been asking the Attorney General to check, revise some of the laws coming to rape. Now, I am in negotiation with a piece of land, which once the gentleman or the family says, side, go ahead and do your thing, I will need your support in raising at least $2.5 to $3 million to build a structure for rape victims. Why am I doing this? Now I'm going to tell you something. I will tell you something. When an individual gets raped, you shatter their life. Their life are shattered. You don't want to leave your house because of stigmatization. You don't want to leave your house because of fear it could repeat. You don't want to leave your house because your mental status have been broken. You don't want to leave your home. You just want to stay home and remain right there in shock. And I have been pushing for no bail for rapists. 120 days imprisonment. 120 days. Why am I asking for 120 days? Because it will give the victim a sense of safety, knowing that the person who attempted rape or rape is in prison for 120 days. So it will give them a sense of safety. It will build a self-esteem to come to court and face that monster. Because I will tell you something. When you hear commit a rape act today, and the person get hold, they will go to court, they will get bail, and they will come out. And 2 months, 3 months after, or a month after the case call. Now keep in mind, that female, whether young or old, would see that individual every single day. And it will build a fear in them not to come out. Because that individual knows that if I go to court, well, we know what has happened. Something might happen. Or he might threaten me not to come to court. So once this individual is inside there, away from this, from the victim, it will give them a sense of safety, a sense of building their confidence to go to court. But when you see them every day walking the road, and every time they see you, Downey Jr., my eyes on you. You know what is that? That's building a fear. It is building a fear. So listen to this now. A 50-year-old Passeco man was expected to appear in court today after he was arrested and charged for committing a sexual offense against a minor. The man was arrested on Monday. He was charged with one count of sexual penetration after a report was made to the Child Protection Unit. A release from the TTPS stated that on the same day, he entered the victim's bedroom and sexually assaulted her. The victim called out for help and was assisted by other family members. A report was then made to the police. Let me tell you something. We don't know how it feels like unless our sister, our mother, our auntie, and our grandmother reach in this situation. Then you will bear the burden and the pain of that. Hence the reason why I have been pushing for things like these. And I know my friend the AG is working on something. I know that. I could tell you that. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. I want to just highlight about the border, right? The border, what they could do, have certain borders open, goods to come in the country, right? And then close the border for the plane to fly to transfer people from one country to our next country. Anytime the plane flying to bring people in Trinidad and carry people, if they Trinidad going to flood with the virus. You understand? They're going to flood out with the virus.
Yes.
Once people start to travel and plane and come in and out. Right? So the only thing they can do is just ship coming with goods for people to survive in the country and buy the goods and open the business in Trinidad and Tobago very slow for the people to survive. And that is it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Now the borders are open only for cargoes and medical supply. The borders are open for that. Now listen to this, in Florida, they opened a beach in Florida and they had 50,000 more cases than they had. They opened the beach, not the border, the beach. One beach in Florida opened. I do apologize for that, my mistake. One beach. And they had 50,000 more cases than they expected. So just keep that in mind. Let's just say we open business on the 15th. If we have 116 cases presently, how much do you think we're going to have? That might be 16,000 cases. Instead of 116, it might be 16,100. Take what I was telling earlier. So in Florida, they made that mistake. They made that mistake. And I don't think the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would want to make that mistake. Caller on the line. Good night.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
To you, my friend.
And you have touched on a topic that is close to my heart. And for the longest while, I wanted to talk about this. I'm very, very happy that you brought it up tonight. And it's about that heinous crime called rape.
Yes.
You know, there's a saying, you teach a man to fish, you teach a man to fish and you feed him for life.
Yes, yes.
When you commit that act on a person, you destroy them for life.
Completely.
The penalty for that should be, once found guilty, life imprisonment. It should be a non-bailable offense. And most important, there should be restitution in the form of financial compensation to the victim. All the best.
Thank you, my friend. Now, viewers, keep in mind, Real Talk is still having its food drive. I am asking you to contribute $1,000 to plant a seed to what we are doing. Now, you have seen what we did on Sunday. It was grocery bag, market bag, and chicken. And it still continue. You see all that we seen on the screen there? That came in yesterday, and today it was finished. It finished today. It finished today. Thank God by Thursday, Friday, I will have over 100 of those to give out again. You see, being outside on the field and then coming back in studio and then go back on the outside, it is tired me. Because I have other things to see about, I have people to see about. So it is tired me. But thus far, is over about 125, 130 grocery bags given out, market bag given out, chicken given out. You understand? You all know when I set my heart to do something, I just do it. And I just bring it to the public and show you what I'm doing. The only thing that I'm not going to do, as I told you that, I am not going to videotape someone broken house, their family, collecting a bag of food as if they are beggars. I am not going to do it. I am not. For the last 2 years I've been on air. You all have understood what I stand for. And I know the people that are contributing, they trust me. They trust me and they know I will get it to those in need. Now, being to some of these areas and seeing these individuals in the house they live in, our next drive is going to be repairing houses for people. So the businessman and the hardwares, I will be relating with you all. You see, everybody doesn't want to be a millionaire, but not everybody doesn't want to plant a seed to receive a blessing. Not everybody. Let me tell you something. You know why I don't ask or beg anybody for an ad to run on Real Talk? You know why? It's because of planting seeds. It is because of planting a seed. You plant one here, I plant one day, and I plant one day, and I plant down. My Lord is not having me begging to keep an air on a show on TV. He is making sure. He is making sure that I am not begging anyone to sponsor a show on TV that will bring the truth to you all. Because my God knows, if you go by Saieed and you give me 10,000 for an ad to run, you're going to want to tell Saieed how to run his show. We cannot tell God how to run the world. You know why? You know why? My thought is not the thought of God. And my ways are not the ways of God. Because his ways and his thought is bigger than my knowledge. So plant a seed into Real Talk. Because the drive that I am doing, it is totally different from everybody. And you all who contributed could actually see where your money going now. But wait now. Saieed giving out a grocery bag. And on top of that, you're getting a market bag. And on top of that, now you're getting chicken to cook. It's only so much I could reach. It's only so much. But with your help, if I am covering 1,000 persons myself, with your help, we could reach about 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. I just be proud to come on set and say I am not begging for an ad. And I am standing up for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago without somebody saying, Saieed, we're giving you an ad, you have to talk about this, and you cannot talk about that, but don't mention this. But keep your money. I'm proud to say that. But I want to say to those who contributed, thank you. And may God reward you thousands fold in whatever venture you want to do, whatever venture you want to go down, whatever road. Make sure it's a legal road. Eh? I pray that God, that he blessed you and you would really benefit. For those of you who do not understand what planting a seed is, let me explain to you. When you go to the temple, you would hear the pundit saying, make a special offering. When you go to the church, you hear the pastor say, you want a special miracle? Plant a special seed, and you will receive a special miracle. I'm not talking about race, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about facts all around the world. So plant a seed into Real Talk Food Drive. The businessman who wishes to contribute, all well and good. I told you a lot of businessmen, Saieed, the business not open. It is oh God, it is essential to the public. Why you don't talk about this business and talk about that business? And you know what? You wouldn't call me to say, Saieed, well, I see you have a drive going on. What are 5,000 now? But you go quicker pick up the phone and say, Saieed, tell the government, let me open this business and that business now, because you own it. Because you own it. And if you're vexed, that's your business, you know. If how I say it upsetting you, change your channel. Change your channel because people don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. It has hurt them in the heart. So that is one of the reasons why I could say, thank God, Real Talk is being funded by Saieed Ali. I'm not the businessman who had to tell me, well, you know, don't talk about that now. And you know, I like this party, and you can't talk about that because, oh God, this party is mallet. But keep your money. Keep your money. I'm proud to say, let me tell you something now. Not every show in Trinidad and Tobago could tell all you that. Not every show. Because not every show in Trinidad stands for what I stand for. You see, I gotta tell you something, eh? I will tell you something, listen to this. Me being a spiritual person and doing spiritual work, there are certain roads I walk. And when you're going down them road, be careful. Because people will come at you. And they want to know what you stand for. You see, from September to the half of December, you see them 6 legislations and 2 bills. That is what I stand for. That is what I stand for. So the viewers of Real Talk will understand. Saieed is an individual. Be very careful how you're going around that man. Because that man will read you out fast as the breeze blowing. And I thank God for the ability. I thank God for that. So the people who know about planting seed, plant a seed. We feed in the poor. We feed in the less fortunate. We're not going by the wanters. We're going by the needers. Who needs? And since I've started my drive, listen to this, eh? Since I show what we're doing on television about the grocery bag, about the market bag, about the chicken, let me tell you something. I am getting 10 and 20 times more the call I normally get. Because they see what Saieed is doing. But Saieed, you give out a market bag, you give out a grocery bag, and on top of that, you're giving the people a chicken too? Are you their father? No, I am not their father. Are you the grandfather? No, I am not the grandfather. Are you the stepfather? I am not the stepfather. I am doing what nobody have thought or think about doing. So for those who have contributed, this is what I am doing. And I thank you. And I urge you, the citizens, the one who have to live on for 20 and 30 years and don't have to worry about where money is coming from, make a donation. Let me tell you something. They say, there's a saying that goes around. The old people, they say it. Don't expect a rich man to give you something. Don't expect a rich man to give you something. A poor person will come out and contribute to another poor person. He said, but don't expect a rich man to give you something. Because he will be looking down on that same dollar he gave you. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to plead with the Minister of Social Development to help the people who, since January month,
yes,
waiting for the replacement of food card. They put a couple hundreds of people on the line,
yes,
waiting on the replacement of food card. They haven't cut, but they took the old cards and they're not giving them back the cards that they were told they were going to get.
Okay, so they take back the food card that the individuals normally have.
Right, and they said they will call you back to get the new one, which they put you on hold now and they leave you there with us, and that is since January month.
Okay, okay. Thank you for raising it, my dear. The criteria in which the government used to dispose or dispense funding to various organizations have been brought into questions. The question was raised by the opposition Senator Wade Mark on a motion on the adjournment of the Senate today. He said there should be some form of accountability. Listen this, it gets better. Senator Mark questioned why no information was provided on the amount of money some religious organization received.
When I looked further, I saw the name Jamaat al-Muslimin. and I saw in brackets unstated and uncollected. So again, Madam President, we are not too sure how much this, and I have no problem if the government is allocating funds to organizations. They given the Jamaat al-Muslimin, no problem. But please, Madam President, the government has a duty, if they are giving out taxpayers' money to organizations, religious organizations, they must be able to tell us criteria, and in this instance, how much money has been allocated to this particular entity.
Now, viewers, he took the social media, he took the social development minister to task for saying persons who try to defraud the government with the salary relief grant would be penalized.
I saw where the minister was referring to fraud involving members of the public who were providing the government with false information, and the minister threatening ordinary people with the police intervention involving some $510. But here it is, we are giving out 30 million TT taxpayers' dollars, and the minister says that there will be the only main accountability would be accountability to God.
And that is correct what he said. If the minister is not watching, God is watching. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
I see on the newspaper today that with all this place have for the virus people, all the space they have for the virus people, you know, it have nobody in Brooklyn, but they intend to keep Brooklyn.
Yes.
And yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, they intend to keep Brooklyn. So somebody collecting $105,000 every 30 days. Every 30 days. But no OSHA, no EMA, but a deal was made. A deal was made. Eastern Regional Health Authority. They hired the place. Who gave, who authorized Eastern Regional Health Authority with the funding? Who authorized the funding? And then we have the Minister of Health, Mr. Terence Dial Singh, said he don't know who is Davis. So if you don't know who is Davis, who authorized the funding? Because if you, being the Minister of Health, didn't go to the Finance Minister for money to be released, how you get it? How you get it? Because every minister, every single minister have to go to the Finance Minister in order to get money released. Look, come good. Come good, because I will stink up all on the TV. Come good. If you, Minister Dial Singh, don't know who is Davis, who authorized the funding for Eastern Regional Health Authority, and if they're under the medical board, and you, the minister, didn't authorize it, where did they get the money? Where did they get the money? Come out and tell the public. Come out and tell the public, because I hear people quite in Tobago, who have a high affiliation with the present administration, know what is going on. You can't hide anything from me, you know. Because when you tell yourself, we go put it in a bottle and we go hide it, so I'd have a spirit in the bottle waiting to get the info. I will send a spirit to get my information and come on TV and bust it on TV. You can't play Monopoly in me, you know, as a different breed of human being. So his question needs to be asked. Answer needs to be given. That's why I don't beg for funding. So you can't sit my mouth. So listen to this now. However, in response, acting leader of government business, Clarence Rambarat, sought to clear the air on the funding. He said it was intended for the communities in which these organizations are suited.
It is intended to reach the communities, and the government recognized that a number of religious bodies, not only religious bodies, but a number of religious bodies are engaged in efforts in the communities on a year-round basis. And for that reason, the government felt it was advantageous that these bodies assist in some of the relief efforts.
So what I want to ask now, have the minister now, these ministers, have they heard of any church, temple, or mosque given out? Come good, come good. Have you seen any churches, any temples, any mosques given out? Flood gone last year. People still recovering. Some still waiting for grant. Where was the church? Where was the temple? Where was the mosque? Come and say something. Say something. You see, when coming to certain things, it have no race and religion by me, you know. No race, no religion. When I came down into Trinidad, when I came out my mother's womb, there were race and religion and fighting and killing and rape and murder going on in Trinidad. So I ain't going to fight among that. Now, everybody who know about Real Talk knows Saieed is a Muslim. Hear this, eh? If I given out chicken on my food drive, don't you think that me being a Muslim would deal with halal meat? Everybody who looked at Real Talk would know I am a Muslim. And they know Muslims deal with halal meat. Somebody called my assistant today, my secretary. Listen to this, eh? And questioning my secretary now. The meat side given out, it halal? And where he buy it? And who provided him with it? If you, who made that phone call, know Saieed is a Muslim, don't you think the little common sense that God gave you, don't you think that Saieed would be dealing with halal meat? You call my office to ask my secretary to tell me, to tell the public, to let them know where Saieed getting the meat from. Monday night, for your information, Monday night, when I had my show, I did mention where I got my meat. And I will repeat it again. I got my halal chicken from Rashid Poultry Depot in Gasparillo, who is also a Muslim, who also funds and take care of one of the mosques in Gasparillo. You see, you're listening, but you're not hearing. You will listen to everything making noise, but you're not hearing what making the noise. When she told me that, I was like, this person for real? You watching Real Talk, you know Saieed is a Muslim. You know Saieed don't deal up with pork. But you look to ask the question, if the meat Saieed given out, the chicken that he given out is halal? So I asked my worker, I said, why didn't you give them a number to call me? She said, Saieed, I did. But I never received a call. So I decided to highlight it tonight. Since Real Talk come on the air, every viewer aware of Saieed and Real Talk know I am a Muslim. They know if I have to deal with meat, it will be halal. You think I go and buy any and any place and buy any and any meat to give out? No. No. I believe in what I believe and you believe in what you believe. My good friend, Fighting Steve, I always call him Fighting Steve, who is also known as Baba Steve. He have a temple. And now listen, the common sense, the little bit of common sense that God gave me. I know the man is a pundit. I know he have a temple. You think I go drink rum and go in the temple? You think I go eat meat and I go in the temple? Common sense telling me, well, hey, this man is a pundit. You can't drink and you can't eat meat when you're going in any place. I wonder if that's a smart move or a stupid move. If you're vexed, you're vexed, you know. If you don't want to watch Real Talk again, it's your business, not mine. But the thing is, you should have had that common sense to know that, wait now, boy, Saieed is a Muslim. He could deal with halal meat. How sad. How sad. Senator Rambarat also noted that the funding was provided to the umbrella bodies of each religious sector.
The grants, and their grants, are approximately $10 million per month for 3 months. And they have been given to 20 or 30 bodies. Initially, they have been given to what we call umbrella bodies in the country.
Isn't Clarence Rambarat the Minister of Agriculture? What he doing? What he doing talking about a finance matter? Eh? Somebody could tell me something? Talk about you going and fund agriculture with $20 million. Talk about you going and meet the farmers and give them a check of $20,000 or $30,000. Talk about that. Don't talk about the religious bodies. That is not your place. That is not your portfolio. You see, that's why I don't beg for funding, because when I start, it's like I want to roll, you know. I want to roll, you know. Because every minister have different portfolios. You want to belong here, you're talking about here. You want to belong there, you're talking about there. Oh, by the way, is Maxi Coffee still collecting his salary? Is he an MP still? Because the people of his constituency wants to meet with him. They want to know when he will be contributing to their community. And I want to know if he's still collecting a salary from the government. Because he ain't working. He ain't working at all. In order to be collecting a salary, you have to be working. According to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, when I work, I want my money. So if Maxi Coffee ain't working, which means he shouldn't be getting any money. Eh? Let's say something. Call a good night.
Yeah, good night, Saieed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
I want to highlight 2 topics. The first topic is with the Minister of Food Production, right? Yeah, I would like to highlight 2
Go right
topics.
ahead, go right ahead.
Yeah. Food Production Minister. Why he don't come and address the farmers?
Thank you.
He addressing in Parliament, boy.
Thank you.
Since he come as minister, he never come and address a farmer for 5 years outside. Never, never, never. And the next thing, school closed for 1 month. Right? And when school closed for 1 month, they never sanitize school, they never wash no school. I only hope when school open, they have said the sewer and the cesspit and they in trouble to close down back the school, you know.
Why it will be me and them?
When the minister of education there, we are hearing nothing about him.
He gone for vacation.
Sanitized.
Thank you, my friend. He gone for vacation. He gone for COVID-19 vacation. Because one media briefing and a seaman, and after that, he go on clear. He go on to sleep. COVID-19. He have to be inside. He's social distancing. He's social distancing from everything. 1 month now. How many things have been put in place for school children? How many things? It have some schools. Teachers ain't even put nothing in place for the children and them. Them social distancing from everything and all. But they want to put, I hear the minister say they want to open school in August. In August. And you know the talk? The children them don't get a holiday already. So we go open school. Boy, I don't know, sometimes my brain just run out of a name for he, you know. Serious. But before we go down, viewers, listen this. Nutrient Supply put one of its plants into idle mood. This is according to National Security Minister Stuart Young. You see? We talking about energy here now. Stuart Young coming. Franklin can social distancing also. He made a statement while speaking in the Senate this morning. Minister Young said workers will not be let go during the time. He said demands in Europe and Asia for production coming out of Point Lisas have been completely wiped out. As such, he says Nutrien have moved to slow down works.
It is quite apparent that unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation taking place. We see one of the members for the opposition talking about shutdown, another one now talking about closure. There has been no closure of any Nutrien plant. As I just said, it's been put 1 out of 5 of their plants at Point Lisas has been put into an idle mode for the next 90 days. 4 of their plants produce ammonia, 1 of their plants produces urea. The plant that has been put into an idle mode is an ammonia plant. Absolutely none of Nutrien's ammonia product is sold on the local market, so there will be no effect whatsoever, negative, positive, or otherwise, to our local agricultural workers.
So now, viewers, you all heard that. Now, the 69 TT nationals who came in from Suriname and are being quarantined at the UEDB campus have all tested negative for COVID-19. The group which returned to TNT last Friday were tested on Saturday. They are under a mandatory 14 days quarantine. So that is good to hear. That is good to hear. Listen to this, sir. Ansel Dennis has been elected to the top post of Chief Secretary for the Tobago House of Assembly. The Assembly met today to elect a new Chief Secretary after former Chief Secretary Kelvin Charles resigned from office after losing the PNM Tobago Council leadership to Tracy Davison Celestine. So viewers, Dennis created history by being the youngest person to ever be elected to that post. So congratulate Mr. Dennis on his winning. I do hope that you perform for the people of Tobago who have elected you. He is the electoral representative for Buku, Mount Pleasant. So my friend, I wish you all the best in what you are going to do for the people of Tobago. Oh, by the way, is there any food drive taking place in Tobago? Because a lot of Tobagonians called me to the side. What you are doing, we are not seeing it in Tobago. So is there anybody from Tobago listening to Real Talk presently? You can call in. We have about a minute or so. Can you call in and let us know what is taking place in Tobago? If it is so, we have about 10 seconds again. It's sad, you know. It's sad. So viewers, what I'm asking, continue calling me, Saieed, we want to plant a seed, we want to donate to a food drive. As you all can see, Real Talk is doing it different. You get in your food hamper, you get in your market bag, you get in your groceries, your chicken. So the same way I thought of my house, And me and my wife going to make markets and buy chicken is the same way I am thinking about the less fortunate in Trinidad and Tobago. So you all can see what we did. I am, like I said, I'm not going to put up the people broken home. They're coming out with their boss jersey or their short pants. I am not going to highlight it. But those of you who have contributed thus far, no side will go down to the people. Because in the last 2 years, you have seen what I stand for. So you get in your market bag, you get in your grocery bag, and you get in your chicken. And for the person who wants to know where I am getting my chicken, it is from Rashid Poultry Depot. He's also a Muslim. He also runs a mosque in Gasparilla. So I guess that would sort you out there. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, it's Thursday tomorrow. Real Talk will be live from 7 to 8 p.m. Let your friends and family know that. Be safe, enjoy the night. Until we meet again, good night.